Good morning and welcome to another great edition of Money Truth Moments with our very own Money Truth expert and whisperer, Judy Copenbarger. How are you?
I'm awesome. 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 Happy Tuesday to you. How are you doing, Carlos?
I'm doing fantastic. It's my favorite day of the week because we get to spend some time in the morning, we get some wisdom going, and get to tackle our days. So, folks, if you're just joining us, welcome. Please make sure you're following Judy at judycopenbarger.today. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about a very important topic, which is the daily habits of financial confident people, not people, but confident people. So in today's episode, financial confidence is rarely just built overnight. It goes through consistent habits. We all know that. Intentional choices and healthy relationships with money. But in this episode, we're going to explore the simple daily practices that financial confident people develop over time and how we can learn from that. So what do you say we get started, Judy?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right. So when people think about financial success, they usually think about money. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Should they actually be thinking about habits instead?
Absolutely. I think mindset is the big part, but it's kind of a blind spot, right? If you don't have the mindset to be successful, you don't know that you don't have it. Like you don't know what you don't know. So
Yeah.
I think mindset's important. And then it's just those little things you do, having a plan, and then those little things you do along the way. That's all it is. Little tiny habits.
And sometimes those little tiny habits are actually bad habits that we're trying to get rid of and trying to do the opposite, right?
Exactly. That's the trick. That's the mindset part. Can I do it? Do I want to do it? All of that. So, yeah. And it's a little thing.
Excellent.
It's the small choices. It's the daily routines. It's the um, new way of implementing. Sometimes it just makes all the difference. It just changes the trajectory. Like when you shoot an arrow, just a little movement changes the whole trajectory of where it's going to land and the impact at the other end. So it doesn't take a lot to do these things. It's always simple, but not easy, is what I like to say. And confidence will
Sure.
grow over time for sure.
So let me ask you this. So when you think about successful folks, do financially successful people have better opportunities or they simply practice better habits?
No, it's just what they do. It's how they think and what they do. People think you're born with a silver spoon. You're always going to have enough money. No, most people that inherit money or, win the big one, win the lottery, lose it. It's like 18 months, it's gone. And for a large inheritance, it's 3 years, it's gone, poof. So, what is the difference between the people that maintain that and sustain that and the ones that lose it? It's the mindset. And then you have other people that grew up with nothing and they, were living out in the holler with an outhouse, and all of that stuff. And they ended up doing really, really well. What's the difference? The difference is can do, and then those little habits along the way. It's all those little things, making sure you know what your expenses are, making sure you're saving. So we're talking cash flow today. Cash flow and cash reserves is kind of our umbrella today. But it's all those little choices you make about what comes in, how you allocate the money that comes in, investments and expenses and things like that, and then what goes out and how you allocate that. Little tiny habits make a big difference.
So you've dealt with a lot of people throughout your career, younger folks, older folks, and what habits do you notice among people who seem really calm and confident about money?
Well, they have a plan. They have a plan, and they either have a history of really good habits that they know is tried and true, or they're totally committed and dedicated to getting that done. And I've seen that transformation happen. It's not quite overnight, but so fast. I would say within a month or two for most couples that totally haven't got money that, they might make a lot, but it goes out, poof, where did it go? That's like a legal term, poof. We all know what that is, right? It's like there's holes in my pockets. Where did it go? It comes in, it goes out. It comes in, it goes out. How come I've never been able to save? How come I've never been able to achieve these other goals that I have? I'm always behind the eight ball. The ones that get that commitment to the new set of skills, it's not just habits. I think it's set of skills, and just implement that way. It makes all the difference. It doesn't take long. Again, it's simple, not easy, because the mindset is what the part people struggle with in my experience. It's like, I always thought this way. I always heard this way. This is the values I grew up with. That's the world, according to Judy, right? That's my reality. Not really. Not really. That's your reality, right?
Right.
So you can always change that. And it just takes, first of all, an awareness. And then you want to do something about it. And then you take the diligent steps to do something about it. And that's all it is, right? It's not rocket
Folks,
science.
no, you're right. And that's the thing though, too, right? You said it. It's those easy things that seem to be take us the longest to achieve, to try to accomplish, in the hardest part. And you're right.
Yeah,
Mindset begins with it too. Folks,
absolutely.
if you're just joining us, welcome. Please make sure you're following Judy on judycopenbarger.today. We are talking about the daily habits of financial confident people. So make sure you share the stream. Get folks out there. Send us some questions, things that you are practicing that can help others as well too. That'd be great for us to share on here as well. So let's keep chugging along here, because I know we always run out of time. So I want to make sure I get as many questions as possible for you. So think about now, I'm coming to you. Hey, Judy, I'm a financial mess, right? I've tried this, I've tried that. My parents told me to have my piggy bank and money under the mattress kind of thing, like some of us have done. So if someone wanted to become more financially confident, what daily habits would you recommend?
Oh, I would say if it's daily, I think just checking the expenses. What did I spend today? Was it a need? Was it a want? Was it a wish? How important was that spending? Were my priorities right when I did it? Does it get me toward the end goal? Does it move me toward the outcome that I'm looking to have? And I think tracking goals. I mean, first of all, you got to have goals. What am I even doing this for, right? And then I think people who struggle with savings, if you make it like an expense, you're not going to miss your rent. You're not going to miss your mortgage. You're not going to miss buying groceries, right? Those are things we know are going to happen. What if that same urgency and that same habitual expense is one where you pay yourself, like forced savings? And it's just a mindset, right? It's like, I pay for this and this and this and this, and I'm right at the top. I pay myself first. Put money aside for taxes, put money aside for my future, and have that be a line item before you get down to the expenses that are more discretionary, and then it just poofs. So you put it, at the top. You put yourself at the top. I think that automated savings, that automated line item expense that is really for your future, is good. And then you got to have the discipline to leave it alone. You want to have a DNT account. DNT, remember what that is? Do not touch, right? And I learned that from a nanogenarian years ago that said, I always had a DNT account, honey. So you want to have one of those where it really is your own bank. It's your own savings. It's your own reserves. So you don't end up reaching for a credit card. So things like that. And then, reward yourself, review your progress, maybe weekly at first, monthly after time, and then it could move to quarterly once you get the habits down. But every week, and if you're doing this with someone else, you have a spouse or other people making decisions with you around money at your house, you want to have a little check-in, maybe every Saturday morning or Sunday night, or at some point, you just have a little powwow. How did we do this week? Did we do more, better, different this week? How'd we do on the expenses? Did we save money? Did we put $10 or $50 or $500 away? And then just reward yourself. Yay, we're on track. We're actually making progress. Gamifying it goes a long ways for people. Make it fun. For some people, money is their kryptonite. It just destroys them. For me, it's technology. It doesn't give me life. It kind of sucks it out of me. So I have to, in small doses, deal with technology. For some people, money is that way because of their history or their past or their beliefs around money or experiences. They've failed, in financial areas. But a weekly check-in and rewards along the way will go a long way toward maintaining that progress.
And something I'm gonna bring up, because it's a great example of what you were talking about, especially about checking your spending and so forth. Folks, if you haven't seen the episode where Judy talked about, doing an audit for some of the stuff on your monthly and all that. I gotta thank you for that because I hadn't done it in a while, and I realized I just saved probably a ton of money on different things that were double subscriptions that they're
Wow.
sneaky, right? So you sign up, it didn't work the first time, but you were actually signed up, and then you re-sign up, and all of a sudden you have a double subscription, getting double, making double payments on things. And so I started going through, and once I found that one, I started going down that rabbit hole, and it's like, okay, so this was no longer being used. This is no longer being used, but it took that, for just that reminder, go through your audit, go through your monthly, like you're saying right now, checking that spending to make sure that everything in those line items are legit and coming through. So I wanted to thank you for that. And I know a lot of folks can relate to that as well too.
I love that. I appreciate you sharing that. We had it happen just to us. And it wasn't a double subscription, but it was insurance on my husband's phone. So we realized when we went into the phone at Verizon place, we had insured it through Verizon. We'd also insured it through the Apple store. So it was double covered, and you don't need double coverage on a cell phone, right? But we had no idea. So we were paying every month on both of these guys. So things like that. I mean, I'm not sure an audit would have uncovered it for us, but definitely an awareness and asking the question, hey, am I okay here? No, you're okay, but you're paying way too much to be okay. So it does happen. And it's worth looking at. And another thing that I wanted to, well, that's okay. We'll move on. I'm looking at the time. It's like, we got to move on. This is getting good.
All right, so let's shift our thinking a little bit. I'm going to ask you, like, how do small habits become just these life-changing financial? They give you financial results.
Because small habits will make small changes that give you small wins. It'll build momentum, and then you start seeing the progress. It's kind of like when you start saving. You put $50 in and then $100 in, your account doesn't do much, in the early months, in the early years, the fees will pretty much eat up, what goes in there. But then you get momentum and it grows. And then you can see, wow, I put in $10 this month and it grew 15, or I put in $200 and it grew $250, right? So you start seeing that compounding effect. It's amazing. And that compounding, that growth, that success, seeing the debt go down and the wealth grow, gives you that confidence that we're all looking for when it comes to finances.
I'm thinking of, it's just these little baby steps. We've talked about this in other episodes, and I think sometimes we forget that we're trying to go from 0 to 100 in one step, and then when we fail, we give up, and then everything is like, oh, this doesn't work, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And talk a little bit about, just briefly, about maybe some example of clients that tend to do that until they actually say, okay, I give up. I'm going to actually follow what Judy's saying and see how this goes, and it's like an eye opener, right?
Absolutely. One couple comes to mind. We were talking about the check-in, and they had it every Sunday morning. They'd get up early about 6:30 and they'd meet for 10-15 minutes. And what their thing was, it was spending. So she's on Amazon, he's on Amazon. She's on Etsy, he's on Etsy. They have all these things and they're just spending, and boxes show up every day. I don't know what you bought. You don't know what I bought. The kids need this, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the kids, they will conquer and divide if they can, if you let them. Right? Mom, I need this. Dad, I need this. And then they get more, right? So you want to have communication around that. But their thing was they would just shop, shop, shop. So one of the things that they found so much value from every Sunday morning when they got their powwow is they agreed all week long to not hit send on their orders. They would just put things in the carts, fill up the carts. Well, it did a couple of things. First of all, Saturday night, they're going through the cart going, do I really need it? Do I really need it? Do I really need it? And a lot of it was no, delete, 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 minus sign, right? Delete, delete. And then when they got together Sunday, it'd be like, oh, you were going to buy a couple of cases of paper towels. So was I. We don't need two right now. Why don't you get that? And I'll go ahead and get the vacuum cleaner bags or whatever, right? So they got communication around what they were buying. And, daughter needs, some new shorts for soccer, and son needs, some baseball bat gear, whatever it is. So getting together on what it is it the right thing? Are we getting the right quality, the right quantity? All of that, having a powwow made a really big difference for them. And the side effect, which always is an end goal for me, is more marital harmony. They were actually nose to nose, knee to knee, having conversations once a week about something important that was really long lasting results for their family in a good way. And they had changed that together. So now they're coming together, they're planning, they're thinking about it, they're solving a problem, and they're rowing in the same direction. That's huge on many areas, right? And on many areas of life. That one exercise, 10, 15 minutes every week, the discipline to do it. And I got to tell you, you said, what about habits you start and you stop? They did that at first. And so I provided the accountability on Monday. How did the meeting go? Did you have it? Well, no, we slept in. Okay. When are you going to make up that meeting? Next week, we're going to do more, better, different. You're going to have the meeting. And they knew I was going to call and check on them, right? So that accountability can help, but just having that habit really made a big difference for them. And I'm just so glad when I get to be on a winning team like that and see the transformation and the impact it's going to have long lasting for their family. It's huge, and it's fun. That's fun for me.
No, and it's also it's great that you always go above and beyond for clients that you work with, people overall, because I've seen you do great work and help people with your wisdom and get them back on track.
I like people.
You're a people person. That's it for sure.
Not all people.
Yeah. I think we all fall in that category for sure. Let me ask you, which financial habit could change your life if you actually practiced it consistently for the next year, do you think? Which would be one small
Yeah,
goal?
that's going to be different for every person and every couple. But I think the big thing is that check in with yourself, the mindset. If you believe that you can, you'll be right. If you believe you cannot, you'll be right. So I think that the biggest habit is, how am I thinking about money? How am I feeling about money and my progress? And any one little thing you can do, and again, it's going to be different for everyone. Any one little thing that you can do that moves you toward the goal line, that puts you on the path you want to be for your financial confidence and your financial progress, that's going to be the right habit for you.
All right. And folks, like I said, time flies when you're having fun. And we're at the end of the show, so you know what that means.
Here's your
challenge. All right. It's a Money Truth Moment Challenge. What do we got?
Yeah, pretty simple. Maybe not easy. You can determine whether it's easy or not, but very, very simple. Choose one financial habit that you would like to add, to do more, better, or different. Maybe it's having that powwow. Maybe it's writing down, pen and paper, a goal that you have, a proper goal. And other shows will let you know what a proper goal actually looks like. It's got 4 parts. It might be mitigating your expenses. It might be checking over, doing that financial audit that you mentioned, Carlos. What's one habit that you want to add? Start with a mindset. What's one habit that you want to add? Write it down. Don't try to do everything all at one time. Don't try to go from 0 to 100 by Tuesday, but master that one habit, and then you can add another. You can do this. That's your challenge.
All right, folks, you heard the challenge. And remember, if you have any questions or you have any other additional topics you'd like Judy to address, please let us know. Drop us a line. And remember to follow her at judycopenbarger.today. We're here every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. with the replays, and Thursday at 8 p.m. So until next time, Judy, any last parting words?
Well, if you live where they have fireflies, go catch a firefly. Get out, enjoy some fresh air, sunshine, enjoy whatever region that you're in. Enjoy the weather and the outdoors. This is the time of year. It's so beautiful. So enjoy, make it a great week, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, guys. Until next week.